Howdy friends, welcome back to the Eclectic Sam YouTube channel in my eclectic corner of YouTube, where I like to talk about things like selling on eBay, reselling in general, thrifting, traveling sometimes, and just general vlogging. Before we get started, if you haven't already, you see down below that subscribe button. If you hit that, it doesn't cost you a thing, and it helps me out. Plus, it gives you the ability to see what's coming in the future. Today, I thought we'd do a little haul video. I've been waiting for some items that I bought in an online auction out of Texas from the people over at Grimes Finds YouTube channel. It's been stuck in shipping, this holiday shipping, and they're saying it's the worst that it's ever been right now. But it's a nice little haul. I got 22 items total out of some lots and everything. And I paid about $105 for everything with the shipping and fees and everything in there. So that comes out to about $4.77 a piece. Of course, with me doing my average costing, that's what each item's going to cost me. But before we get started on showing you the items, online auctions is something that a lot of resellers don't think about when looking for items to resell. But you're really missing out if you're not going on like websites like HiBid or Live Auctioneer or Proxy Bid. What it is auction houses all over the world that have brick and mortar auctions also do their auctions online. So if you can't go to their brick and mortar auction at their place, you can still bid on items and get good deals on things. I myself love it because with my disability, I'm not able to get out as much as I'd like. So if I'm having a bad week, but I need some inventory, I'll hop on and look at different auctions. You can look in certain areas so you don't have to pay as much on shipping. Usually the companies will ship the items to you. You can look for different items. So if you're looking for one specific thing that you know about. But what I do is I look at the auctions. I'll find an auction that I'm really interested in. There's a bunch of stuff that I'm interested in. That way, the shipping works out a little bit better. And I'll dissect every single lot that they have up for sale and look at everything and figure out what I'm going to pay for it and the most that I can get for it. And I'll sit down and make a list of everything by the lot number, what I'm willing to pay for it, and what I think I'll get for it. And it works out real well for me. I get some good stuff and make some good money off of it. So think about looking at some online auctions and buying stuff to resell. But let me show you what we got in this lot. The first few items are ones that, the first three are ones that I decided to keep for myself. This one's pretty neat. It's pretty rare. I mean, it's something that's not really worth a lot, but it's pretty rare. Terralingua Ranch was actually, or is a ranch that Carroll Shelby owned. Carroll Shelby, of course, the famous race car driver that, the Shelby Mustang is named after. And also Terralingua Ranch did some racing promoting as well. But this is a no trespassing sign from the ranch, and it's framed out there. I'm going to keep this and hang it up in my new eBay shed. Probably going to hang up, some interesting items like this in there. This item is really hard to say what it'd be worth, because it's going to be worth whatever somebody that's interested in Carroll Shelby would want to pay for it. Next up, we have this 1940s pinup art. It's a lithograph pinup art. It's got the artist's name down there of Pearl Frosh, and the piece is called The Pink Lady. Vintage pinup is something that you really should be looking for. Not only men but women also collect it, and a lot of people like to decorate with it. This particular piece, if I were to sell it, would probably bring about $40 or $50. It's 8 by 10 and a vintage frame there. But my room, this eBay room now in the house, once I move everything out of it into the new shed, is going to be a sitting room for sitting to read and listen to records and so forth. I'm going to start collecting records. But also it's going to be my oddities and curiosities room, where I'm going to display some of my weirder and kitschier stuff that I collect, because I'm a collector. I love to put that stuff on display and show people. But this is going to hang up in that room. The last item that I'm going to keep for myself is this medical illustrations book. Has a musculoskeletal system with like developmental disorders, tumors, so forth. This is a newer book. This one, if I were to sell it, would only sell for about $20. But vintage medical books that have illustrations in them bring big money. Some of the older ones. You definitely want to keep a lookout for those. People like weird stuff, especially weird people like me. But this is pretty neat because it breaks down some of the deformities and so forth that would happen to people, and it tells information about it. Deformed feet, so forth like that. And it has the neat illustrations in it. There's a child there with a deformed arm. Just interesting things like that. And this kind of stuff is really interesting to me. Being that I'm disabled, it's just kind of a insight of how over the years ideas have changed for different disabilities and issues that happen to people and so forth. There's double jointed, which I can do that. That's pretty neat. So yeah, these books are real good to look for, and like I said, the older ones are better. This one being from 1991, it really not worth as much. But I'm going to keep that in my little oddities room too. May put it on like a little book stand so people can flip through it. First thing in the items that I'm going to be reselling is this stack of vintage early 80s Ford Mustang books and manuals and so forth. We've got the little 82 owner's guide, 83 quick brochure. Then we've got the 80s accessories manual, if you wanted to upgrade your Ford. Then we've got an 82 Ford Mustang sales brochure. Another Ford brochure. And we've got the 82 Ford Mustang brochure. 84 SVO brochure. That's the high performance version of the Mustang that they had in the early 80s. Then we have the 83 Ford brochure. All these sell for anywhere between about $8 up to $15 on eBay. I'll have to decide what I'm going to do, whether I lot them together or sell them individually. I'll probably sell them individually. These old brochures and everything are good, cheaper items to sell because people that have the cars and want to finish off the collection of the car, and also B, people that are reliving their childhood memories or whatever of these cars that don't have them, but they want a little something of the history of the car. They're real good to sell. Next up are all these items were from one lot. A lot of auction companies call these junk drawer lots or collectibles lot. But I really like these because you can get a bunch of stuff at a reasonable price. First off, we have this bumper sticker. It's a NASA. Failure is not an option. I think I'm going to keep this. I may put it up in the eBay building. Just like that comment, failure is not an option. It's true. Got to keep on moving on. Next up is a vintage Texas road map. That's probably going to sell for about $8 or $10. Vintage maps do real well. Road maps usually don't do as much unless it's got like a gas station advertisement on it or something. Next up is this National Geographic, the Southwest map. It gives you all the information about, the historical places and all. These are selling for anywhere between $10 to $15 on eBay, so that'll be neat. This item is the kind of stuff that I like. Stuff that makes me have to do research. It's a vintage 70s decal, but it's some sort of art. I don't know what it is, so I'm going to do research and figure out what it is. You see it's got a spooky little clown on, looking down on the earth, or that might be the moon. So I'll do some research on this and see what it's worth, but it's kind of interesting artwork. Next up, we have this 8x10 photo. Vintage photos do real well for me. This one, being the gentleman, is military uniform, and the good-looking lady there with the fur collar. I should be able to get about $15 for that photo as well. Now we have the main reason why I bought this lot is this vintage Sun Valley handkerchief. Sun Valley Resort, their handkerchiefs and their scarves sell for real good money. This handkerchief will probably sell for about $25. The scarves, if you can find the scarves, they bring up into, about $50 or so dollars. So keep an eye out for anything with Sun Valley, a scarf or a handkerchief. And then the last item in this lot was this Have a Hank, or hanky, or handkerchief, hot peppers handkerchief, and that one, those sell for about $15 on eBay. Next up, we have several books. Books are kind of a thing that I like to buy at auctions, because usually at auctions, people overlook books, but there's a lot of value in them. This first one's a Seinfeld Scripts paperback. That book sells for about $15 on eBay. This next one's really neat, and I was surprised that it doesn't sell for much more. But Saturday Night Live, 1970s book. It's just a comic book of, not really comic book, but comical book about Saturday Night Live, and it's made to look like a script, but it's got photographs and a bunch of little jokes and stuff like that in it. But this book sells for about $10 to $15. Next up is a photo book. It's called The Age of Adolescence by Sterling, the photographer. Photography books are something that a lot of people need to keep an eye out for. So it's got a lot of vintage photographs of young folks. But photography books can be real high dollar. This particular one, in the shape that it's in, it's got some wear to it. Will sell for about $60 to $75 on eBay. This one in good shape would sell for about $100, and there's also an autographed version of it that sells for about $200 to $250. So that's a good book to keep an eye out for. Now, this last book was one of the main things that I was happy to get out of this auction. The inside story of the fastest Fords. The Ford GT, or the GT40. If any of you've watched the recent movie called Ford versus Ferrari, this book is an early, I think it was done in the 70s, about the Ford GTs that raced in the 60s. It's a rare book, and it sells for about $125 in this shape. So I was real happy to get this. This one should probably sell pretty quick. Now this is the last item, something that goes back to what I was saying about research, that I wanted to buy because it was beautiful, but also I wanted to learn. This is a copy, or relief of a painting that was in the city of Stabia in Italy. Stabia was a city near Pompeii. Now, if some of you don't know, Pompeii was, if you have read about it, is a city that was covered up by ash because of a volcano. Well, Stabia was covered up as well. And when they unearthed it, they found all these beautiful paintings on walls and so forth. And this is a copy of one of those by the springs. If you see the lady carrying the little jug or water jug, and this was there at Stabia. This is not the exact one, of course. It would be worth millions of dollars if it was. But the original is in the Napoli Museum. And this is a piece from the 70s, I believe, because of the quality of the print on the label. Maybe 60s. But if you see it, it's in Italian. But it came from the Museum of Napoli. It's painted or picture Romana, and is from Stabia. But there is not a single one of these on eBay or Google. And it's made of stone or clay or whatever. I'm gonna shoot for the moon with this. Sometimes rare items like this, you just need to shoot for the moon and hope for the best. I'm gonna list it for $250 and take offers. So we'll see what it goes for, but I think it should bring close to that. We will hope. Well, that was another good haul from an auction. Like I said, if you're not looking for auctions to buy from, you're really missing out on some different items and branching out into different things. I really enjoyed showing these hauls and telling y'all a little bit about stuff that you normally wouldn't think about. Hopefully, once we get the building completely set up and moved in there, I'm going to be able to start listing more and selling more, therefore buying more, so I can give you some more of these haul videos. But if you liked it, make sure you hit the like button, and if you haven't already, subscribe so you can see videos coming in the future. And if you want to, comment below any questions or what your favorite item was from this haul. I'd love to talk with you in the comments. But until next time, my friends, I love you. Bye.